What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Realms of Metal. Eddie here, back with you from the happiest place on earth, my metal room here in the woods in PA. And let's do something that we haven't done a lot on this channel so far, and let's talk a little bit of black metal. Right? So I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you I'm the biggest black metal fan on the planet. Actually, black metal as a genre was the hardest for me to warm up to as a metal fan. Now, like growing up in the 80s, um, early 90s, my first taste of black metal, the black metal that I know were bands like Immortal and Emperor and stuff like that. Marduk and Dark Funeral. I didn't really know the influence that first wave of black metal bands had on the second wave. So like everybody considers like the first wave of black metal, Merciful Fate, Bathory, Venom, Hellhammer, Celtic Frost, all that stuff. And I liked all that stuff, but I never really considered it black metal until years later. So they say that's the first kind of wave of black metal. And then bands like Immortal, and Emperor, and Marduk, and all that stuff, Mayhem, and Burzum, and Dark Throne were the second wave. So my vision of black metal was totally skewed, kind of as a kid. And like I said, like black metal was very hard for me to warm up to. There was a time where I didn't really like it, you know, but Immortal was one of those bands that I always loved. And like I remember we had Rob Yench here on the channel. We interviewed him a few weeks ago from Morpheus Descends. When he lived in the area, a friend and I would go over to his house, and he had like a distro set up in his house. And that's where I got like Battles in the North. That was like one of the first black metal records that I ever bought, besides, the Merciful Fates and the Bathories and the Venoms and stuff when, not knowing that that was even black metal. So that's kind of my history with black metal. And like I like a lot of black metal, not all of it. I mean, I'm not a Mayhem fan, I'm not a Dark Throne fan, but the ones that I really do like, I love Immortal. I love Inquisition. Inquisition is so fucking good. Marduk, Dark Funeral, Dissection, if you want to call that like melodic black metal. I love Lord Belial. They got some great stuff. So while I'm not like the black metal aficionado, I do like, a lot of it. But I'm not going to tell you that I know a lot about the genre or a lot about the bands in the genre, just the ones that I listen to. So that said, let's talk about Immortal. They're such an important band, and I just feel like they deserve to be talked about more. I'm going to put them on this Legends series that I've been doing with these bands that we've been talking about, their histories and discographies and stuff. So let's go into Immortal. Formed in 1991 in Bergen, Norway, by Abath, uh, whose real name is Olve Ikemo, and Demonaz, whose real name was Harold Navedel. So they were Immortal was birthed from like two Norwegian death metal bands, Old Funeral and Amputation. And like if you listen to that first Immortal demo that came out in 1991, that was really like a death metal demo. They did the demo in 91, and then later on in 91 they did the first EP, which was much more the black metal style that we have to this day. So that Immortal EP in 1991 is like commonly referred to as the Unholy Forces of Evil EP. It was on listenable records, and like I said, more of a black metal style than the first demo. Um, Abath on vocals and bass, Demonize on guitar, um, Armageddon on drums. It had three tracks. The first track was kind of like an intro track. It was called Diabolical Fumu Mysticism, and then two other tracks, Unholy Forces of Evil and The Cold Winds of Funeral Frost. Now, those two tracks would later be released on this record, Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism. This was Immortal's first full length on Osmos, July 1st, 1992. It came out. Now, this one here, this version I got just comes with a like a slip gate, like an outer cover. But here's the record, and here's the real artwork for Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism. So this is really nice, actually. Gatefold, lyrics, pretty hot. Can't beat it. So on Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism, got Abath on vocals and bass, Demonaz on guitar, Armageddon on drums. Produced and engineered by Eric Hundvin, who did stuff with Emperor, Gorgoroth, Mayhem, Enslaved. Cover art and logo by Janik Weiss Hansen, who's like she's a tattoo artist, and she's done stuff for like Enslaved and Satyricon. Music video for Call the Winter Moon. So great record. Like I said, Battles in the North is my first, but when I bought that, I went to the back catalog and got the first couple records. Call of the Winter Moon, Unholy Forces of Evil, Cryptic Winter Storms, Cold Winds of Funeral Dust, Blacker Than Darkness, Perfect Vision of the Rising Northland. So there it is. 1992's Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism. Let's go to 1993. This was released November 1st, 1993 on Osmos again. All these early Immortals were all on Osmos Productions. Pure Holocaust, you've got Abath on vocals and bass, Demonaz on guitar, Armageddon, the drummer, was out, and I believe Abath recorded the drums on this record. So, produced and engineered by Eric Hunvin again. Music video for Unsilent Storms in the North Abyss. Unsilent Storms in the North Abyss, a sign for the Norse hordes to ride. The sun no longer rises, frozen by ice winds, storming through red clouds and Holocaust winds, eternal years on the path to the cemetery gates. As the eternity opens and pure Holocaust. 8 tracks of black metal greatness. Pure Holocaust. So let's go to May 15th, 1995. Again on Osmos, we've got Battles in the North. Again, my first Immortal record, and I was kind of blown away by it. I really was. You know, I remember when the CD that I had, the track listing was off. A lot of the early CDs of this, like the track listing was off a little bit, so you kind of had to like read along and follow along with the lyrics in order to figure out which track you were listening to. So you got Abath on vocals, bass, and drums on this, Demonaz on guitar, engineered again by Eric Hundvin. Music videos for Blashrick, Mighty Raven Dark, and Grim and Frostbitten Kingdoms. Now, Blashrick, that's kind of like Immortals, kind of, it's like a fictional realm, you know, described as like a frozen, icy kingdom filled with mountains, darkness, and like a brutal, grim atmosphere. So you hear Immortal talk about Blashrick in their songs a lot, you know, that's what it means. So if you're wondering, so my probably my favorite black metal record, you know, Battles in the North. The sound is so raw on it. I just love everything about it, you know. One of the most underrated Immortal tracks is Descent into Eminent Silence. It just hits you so fucking hard, so good. Battles in the North, at the stormy gates of mist, through the halls of eternity, moonrise fields of sorrow, cursed realms of the winter demons, thrown by black storms, grim and frostbitten kingdoms, descent into eminent silence, circling above in time before time, and Blashik, mighty raven dark. So, if you're not familiar with Immortal, I would start with this record. It's so much fun. You're gonna listen to this and you're gonna like fall in love with Immortal instantly. I'm telling you. So really good. Pick it up. Let's go to the fourth full length, February 24th, 1997 on Osmos again. Blizzard Beasts. You've got Abath on vocals and bass on this, Demonaz on guitar, Enter Horg on drums, who we just talked about. I just did a Hypocrisy video, a Legends video similar to this one that we're doing with Immortal. And I love Horg so much. He's just a beast of a drummer. And his real name is Rita Horghagen, which is the most metal fucking name you can ever have, ever. You know, so I love Blizzard Beasts, always have. This was produced and mixed by Henrique Helland. It's a girl. Um, the final album to feature Demonaz on guitar until 2018's Northern Chaos Gods. He suffered from acute tendonitis in his arm, and he continued to be like a part of the band, like writing lyrics and stuff and managing the band. So Blizzard Beast, Nebular Ravens Winter, Suns That Sank Below, Battlefields, Mountains of Might, Noctambulant, Winter of Ages, Frost Demon Storm, Immortals, Blizzard Beasts. Let's go to February 22nd, 1999, again on Osmos. At the Heart of Winter, this was their fifth full length. Abath, vocals, guitars, bass, and synthesizers on this. Oregon drums, and then Demonaz is listed as contributing with lyrics on this one. So produced, engineered, and mixed by Peter Tagrin. We just did a Hypocrisy video, talked about, Abyss Studios and all that stuff. Check out that Hypocrisy video, really good. Cover art by Jean-Pascal Fournier, who did cover art for like Impiety, Angel Corpse, Mystic Circle. First Immortal record not to feature the band on the cover. There you go. At the Heart of Winter. Withstand the fall of time, solar fall, tragedies blows at horizon, where dark and light don't differ. At the Heart of Winter. Years of silent sorrow. Killer record. Immortal's just another one of those bands that don't have a bad record in their discography. Like every one of them is so important in my opinion. So thusly why I'm putting them in this legend series that I've been doing. It's a band that deserves to be celebrated. And here you go. At the Heart of fucking Winter. Let's go to March 27, 2000. Damned in Black on Osmos. Abath on vocals and guitar. Horg on drums. Enter Iscaria on bass, who was with a band called Enchanted. He was also with Necrophagia for a little bit. He hasn't been in it for a while, but he was with them for a little bit. Demonaz is listed on lyrics on this one again. Produced and mixed by Peter Tagrin, co-produced by Abath and Horg. Cover art, Jean-Pascal Fournier again. And this was the last record on Osmos for Immortal. So another really fucking solid one. Triumph, Wrath from Above, Against the Tide, in the Arctic World, My Dimension, The Darkness That Embraced Me, in Our Mystic Visions of Blessed, Damned in Black. Now, Immortal, like, especially after Battles in the North, I feel like they have a little bit of a thrash vibe with a lot of their stuff, like these mid Immortal records. I really dig that about them. And not like a thrash band vibe, but they had like this thrashiness about them that I really dig. I mean, they're black metal, but sort of a thrash metal vibe that I like a lot. So, Damned in Black. Let's go to the seventh full length, February 4th, 2002. First with Nuclear Blast, The Sons of Northern Darkness. We've got Abath on vocals, guitars, and bass, Horg on drums, and Iscaria's back on bass with one track, just one by one on this one. So produced and mixed again by Peter Tagrin, co-produced by Abath and Horg, engineered by Lars Zoke, longtime drummer for Hypocrisy and original member. We just talked about him in the Hypocrisy video again. Music video for One by One. The track In My Kingdom Cold refers to like the H.P. Lovecraft story in the Mountains of Madness. Really cool. That's another great thing about Immortal is like the visuals that you get when you're listening to the songs. You picture that grim and frosty, cold fucking kingdom, and it really paints a fucking awesome picture of what they're trying to convey, and you think about that while you listen to the tracks, and it's so killer. One by One, Sons of Northern Darkness, Tyrants, really good one, man. That's just it's one of those mid-paced, thrashier Immortal tracks. Like Tyrants is so fucking good. Demonium, Within the Dark Mind, In My Kingdom Cold is one of the best songs they ever wrote, in my opinion. You know, if you're not familiar, just YouTube Immortal, In My Kingdom Cold. You're gonna fall in love with that track instantly, I'm telling you. Antarctica, Beyond the North Waves. Immortal, Sons in Northern Darkness. So before we get to the next record, Immortal, that was 2000, that was 2002, Sons of Northern Darkness. Let's go up to 2003. Immortal split up. Okay. Fast forward to 2005, Abath, Demonaz, and original drummer Armageddon, they got together with King of Hell from Gorgoroth on bass and Icedale from Enslaved on guitar. And they put out that I record, Between Two Worlds, in 2006. Shortly after that, Immortal was resurrected, you know. So, and in 2009, September 25th, we got All Shall Fall. So you've got Abath on vocals and guitar, which was incidentally is his last record with Immortal. So Horg on drums, Apollyon on bass, who was with Orin Noir. His real name is Ole Jorgen Mo. His only record with Immortal. And you've got Demonaz again contributing with the lyrics on this one. Produced and mixed again by Peter Tagrin. Engineered by Eirik Hundvin. Mastered by Jonas Jelgren, who we just talked about. He did a lot of stuff with Hypocrisy. He did Taste of Extreme Divinity and The End of Disclosure. Cover art by Par Olofsson, killer fucking artist. I think it's the first time I've even mentioned him on this channel, but he's done work for like Immolation, Our Penance, Spawn of Possession, a lot of these underground brutal death metal bands he does the artwork for. He's a killer fucking artist, man. Check out his work. Music video for All Shall Fall. So we've got All Shall Fall, The Rise of Darkness, Hordes to War. Norden on Fire is another one that reminds me of Tyrants a little bit. Super killer. Arctic Swarm, another one. Mount North, Unearthly Kingdom. Great record, man. All Shall Fall. Immortal. Let's fast forward to, that was 2009. Let's fast forward to 2014. Abath, Demonaz, Horg were involved in some kind of legal battle over the band's name. You know, I'm not exactly sure everything that transpired, but, you know, who the fuck knows? These things happen in these bands, you know. 2015, Abath left the band and started his own solo project called Abath. He's got like 3 records out now, and I love the Abath stuff. It's so good. He's such a good songwriter. So that was 2015. Let's push all the way up to 2018, July 6th. We've got the Northern Chaos Gods. We've got a 9-year gap from All Shall Fall to Northern Chaos Gods. You've got Demonaz on vocals and guitar, Horg on drums, and actually Peter Tagrin from Hypocrisy played bass on this record. He did the bass session for it. Demonaz's first vocals on any Immortal record, you know. Produced and mixed by Peter Tagrin, mastered by Jonas Jelgren again, cover art by Janek Weiss Hansen, back doing work for them. Another great record. Northern Chaos Gods, Into Battle Rides, Gates to Blasher, Grim and Dark, Call to Ice, Where Mountains Rise, Blacker of Worlds, Mighty Raven Dark. Immortals, Northern Chaos Gods. Let's go up to 2020. More battles in court over the Mortal name and trademark and all that stuff, you know. So what do we got now? Like I think it was Horg, him and Horg on this one. I don't even know if Abath was even involved in the one in 2020 or not. Maybe he was. I don't really know. I couldn't really find much information on it, but I knew something took place. So fast forward to May 26, 2023, we've got the newest Immortal record called War Against All, on Nuclear Blast again. Demonaz on vocals and guitar. You've got two guest players on this one. You've got Arve Isdal on bass and guitar. Um, he was with the Demonaz solo stuff as well as Enslaved. And then you've got Kevin Cavale on drums, who was with a band called Harm. Really killer, super brutal band. Check out Harm if you're not familiar. Um, War Against All, Thunders of Darkness, War God, No Sun, Return to Cold, Immortal, Blasherick My Throne. Now this one was, let's see what we got here. Yeah, May 26, 2023, Nuclear Blast. So there you have it, the Immortal catalog, 10 full lengths. Such an important band, you know. I think a band that is so deserving of being in this Legend series, you know. Like I said, I'm not a black metal aficionado, but they were kind of that second wave of black metal that came out. The first wave being the Merciful Fates and the Venoms and the Bathories and the Celtic Frosts and the Hellhammers. Um, they're considered the second wave, with Immortal, Emperor, Mayhem, Dark Throne, Burzum, blah, blah, blah. So that said, there's Immortal's discography. Uh, I think they're like a genre bending band. I think if you're a metal fan, you don't have to be a black metal fan to like Immortal, in my opinion. They're just one of those bands that their sound and their whole vibe appeals to a lot of people. And I think it's great. I have friends who are not even metalheads, and I put Immortal on for them, and they're like, "Damn, who's this?" So I think they're super important and just great musicians and songwriters. That's another thing about Immortals. They write good songs. So that said, Immortal, if you're not familiar with them, check them out. Buy a record. If you like it, maybe buy another one. And like I said, I would start with Battles in the North. I just think the one has so much character, and it's just, I think you're going to love that one. So just check it out. So big thank you to everybody who's watching the videos, liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Appreciate that a lot. Thanks to anybody who's bought a shirt in the store. We've got some killer fucking designs up there. So check that out, and thanks again. And we'll see you guys real soon. Got some great stuff in the works here. And, thanks for hanging with me on the Realms of Metal. And we'll see you again real soon. Have a good one.